Well, good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Now, most snacks use unhealthy artificial ingredients that can cause weight gain and are bad for your body. Okay, that's why you need to try Toodaloo Adaptogenic Trail Mix. It's mouth-watering and my number one favorite snack. And I'm not the only one who loves it. Toodaloo was rated the number one best and healthiest nut snack in America by the Eat This, Not That Food Awards. I love Toodaloo's four delicious flavors because they contain 30 organic superfoods and adaptogenic herbs to support better skin, more focused, improved energy, and less stress. Could definitely use some of that right now. Plus, each serving is protein packed. Toodaloo is by far more than just another trail mix. It's healing food, and it has a 12-month shelf life, perfect for prepping. And for the next 24 hours, you can try Toodaloo, America's most delicious trail mix, at up to 20% off by visiting the link in the description box below. Get there, try Toodaloo, the delicious super snack that gives you superpowers. People, it's been a few days. I'm back. Had my nieces in town, so of course, we're doing fun things with them and the kids, having a good time. I did some videos over those days that I wasn't doing lives, but this is my first live since Friday. No, Thursday. So almost a week. My last live since last Thursday. So we are here. Let's do this shit. Don't forget, this is a viewer-supported platform. So Venmo, GreenforGreen, Cash.app, $ Jericho Green, and the number one. Father is the promo code, all caps, for 20% off all green gear. And don't forget, super chats, first come, first serve. You get them up there. Oh, I'll read that shit. And you saw that lovely photo for the video. And the title is, January 6th. We have been marinated in this bullshit for the past few weeks. They started the trial or the hearings last week. I believe there are 5 or 6 of them in total. We got like 3 or 4 left to go. But I'm going to talk about that at length today because I'm just tired of the bullshit. That's what most of this is. I rewatched a lot of the footage, so it's fresh in my mind. And then listening to the garbage that they're saying. So we'll definitely talk about that shit because we know what happened. And one of the points I want to make when talking about January 6th will tell you everything that you need to know. And also going to talk about the White House press secretary. Somebody help her. Whenever she talks, whenever she gives a press conference, if you want to call it that, whenever she's verbally beat down by Peter Doocy, he shows zero mercy, and he shouldn't. There needs to be somebody sitting in a tall, white wooden chair next to her. And sitting on top of that tall, like 7-8 foot chair, sitting in that chair needs to be some young person, maybe between like 18 and 25, some white sunblock on their nose, a whistle around their neck, and one of those floaty things that say lifeguard on it. And they need to be wearing red shorts because that poor lady is drowning. She is drowning every single day. And there's one particular instance. Hold on, let me write this shit down. Don't want to forget. And there's one particular issue that she should be well informed about at all times because it is very important to you and I, the lowly 10 tax ID number. So we're going to talk about her dumbass because she's only there because of what she looks like and who she sleeps with. She's only there for her color and the fact that her face looks like a glazed donut most nights. Also, there's a Michigan police department who said, look, all right, we went through our fuel budget for the year. I know it's only June, but we went through our fuel budget for the year. So we're going to have to start prioritizing our calls based on the amount of fuel we have. Have you ever heard of anything like this? If you put this in a movie and put it under comedies, this shit would be hilarious. But it's not a movie. It's not a comedy. It's real life. And I feel bad for the people in that town because if you happen to catch them on a low field day, they're close to E and you're across town, I don't know what to tell you. And then our border czar, you remember her, Kamala Harris, the first black, yes, sister girl, vice president, who is the embodiment of black girl magic, because when it comes to the border, her ass has disappeared. But don't worry, all right? She's not gone. She's not overseas. She's not underground. She's at a pride event, people, so shut up. She's over there showing support for pride, taking pictures with somebody who won a RuPaul drag queen show. Laredo, Texas, and other border towns. Shut your ass up and deal with that influx. She doesn't have time for you. She has to go put on rainbow-colored shit with her husband. Look, like most married men, I love my wife to death. I would die for her. I would kill for her. I would do anything for her. Her happiness is my happiness. But I'll tell you what I won't do. I won't wear no rainbow-colored shit for my wife. I don't care what your job is or what you need to do, who you need to impress. I'm not doing it. But you better believe the second gentleman, which sounds fucking ridiculous, you better believe he put on his pride and leaders lead with love. What are you talking about, man? This is the world. You get your fucking love at home, not out here in public. I don't want you to lead with love. But that's what he wore, because he has a Ken doll crotch. You guys remember the Barbie doll, her boyfriend Ken? What does crotch look like? Bare, smooth, no details, nothing there. A eunuch. So we're going to talk about those lovely things as well. But before we get in that ass like a bike with no seat, don't forget, get your super chats in. First come, first serve. Venmo, Green for Green. Cash.app, $ Jericho Green, the number one. And if you want to do it old school, you want to go snail mail on me, that's fine. I got you. P.O. Box 806, Olivehurst, California, 95961-9998. Okay? Do that. So put a little question there, a little comment. I'll read that shit right here. So, shout out to everybody in the comment sections. I see you were there nice and early, bright and early. An American Patriot. I see that JG is going to turn on the face flow today. Hope everyone is doing well. Yes, I do. Eric Schultz, you're always first, man. Fauci has COVID. Cart Gamer, YT Carter. Yeah, I saw that shit today. You would think the guy with all the latest, all the cutting edge information on the sweet and sour sniffles would know how to avoid it. He probably had 3 masks on. He's been quadruple jabbed, poked, whatever, social distancing, blah, 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 all that shit. Still got it, buddy. Because it's like we said in the beginning, it's just going to be part of things from now on. Let's see. Cameron Ryder, number 8, does a Pledge of Allegiance. That's awesome. Chris Law says gargoyle. That's right. That's a picture of Nancy Pelosi. She is a gargoyle. At daytime, you don't see her because she's frozen in concrete on top of a skyscraper looking down. But at night, she breaks free. You better watch out. And another thing, Cameron Ryder, number 8. It was good to know that kids still say the Pledge of Allegiance in class every day. I don't know about all of them, but I know my kids do, and it's beautiful. So yeah, shout out to everybody in the comments. I'll be getting to them throughout the show. Man of Tomb says, howdy from Hot Springs, Arkansas. That sounds hot, especially this time of year. Because see, when you're out here on the West Coast, and maybe a little bit east, Arizona, Nevada, and stuff like that, you got like New Mexico, you got that dry heat. Okay, it's just straight hot. Like you could, you're wearing shorts on the back of your legs, the back of your neck. You just feel heat. You feel yourself getting darker. Okay, but when you start moving east, there's another guest that shows up to the heat party, and it's called humidity. And the further you get south, especially southeast, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida is where they make humidity. Okay, if California is where they make those soft handshake, granola-headed dirt fuckers with purple hair, then Florida is where they make humidity. Okay, when you get farther east, humidity, that changes the game. When I was 15, we went to Disney World, and I remember stepping off the airplane, and didn't cross my mind. Humidity? What, you mean how the bathroom is when I get out of the shower? I can handle that. No, Florida doesn't fuck around. Okay, like I said, that's where they make humidity. All right. When I was also get a little further east, Puerto Rico. I was there when I was in the Navy. Shout out to San Juan, Puerto Rico. If you're in Puerto Rico, let me know where you at in the comment section. Swear to you on a stack of Bibles. Okay, I'm under oath right now. I took a handkerchief. This is late May, early June in San Juan, Puerto Rico. I took a handkerchief. Okay, sweating like a hooker in church. I take the handkerchief on this side. I start over here. I wipe. By the time my hand got over here, we're already sweating again. Okay, humidity is something different. Bam Bam Bigelow heat index is 105 in Ohio. No, thank you. That's another place where there's a lot of humidity. Another thing, I went to Baltimore in the summer one time. Surprised at the amount of humidity there. Stephanie Kerr, January 6th was a dry run. I guess they're not taking it that way. They're trying to make some major moves based on that shit. So let's talk about that. January 6th, the hearings, the January 6th committee hearings. Stop, okay? Insurrection. I was looking up footage to watch about January 6th, and I made sure I didn't pick one that had the word insurrection in the title because that would tell me their bias. Sandman 45 says your teeth look good now. They used to scare me. Why are you looking at my mouth so much? Anyway, so January 6th, I tried to find something that didn't have that in the title because that already lets you know what they're about. They already let you know they're trafficking in the bullshit. Okay. So I found one that did it, and I was watching it, and I watched a few different ones, and there's a lot of footage, and this is how it should be. This happened, 18 months ago or something like that? So what they should have done was taken all this footage because everybody was filming it. Everybody who was walking in, everybody who was outside was filming it. What they should have done is taken this footage, identified these people somehow, their faces, their gear, look at their social media, figure out who's who, and then arrest them and prosecute them to the full extent of the law. Case closed. Now, the reason I picked Nancy Pelosi, that liver-spotted demon, David Lopan from Big Trouble in Little China, if you know that movie, you know what I'm talking about. Not tall one with the makeup, the one in the wheelchair with the liver spots everywhere. She looks just like a split-screen Nancy Pelosi, David Lopan. You couldn't tell who was who. But the reason I picked her picture is because she is the head of this bullshit. Her and what's her name? Liz Cheney. So I picked her, and it's a perfect picture. That's her prom picture. But what they should have done, take all that technology, identify those people, take care of them. Not make a bullshit committee and have these bullshit primetime reality show hearings. And why? What's his fucking name? Benny Thompson. He's the head of this January 6th committee. You think it's a coincidence that they got a black person as the head of the January 6th committee? No, because he's draped in victimhood. You can't talk about him because he's one of the Fabergé eggs of ethnicities. He's a black person. Shh. Quiet. Shh. Stop it. Quiet. Okay. Black people, slavery, Jim Crow. It's not their fault, but don't treat them like everybody else. I know if that was a white guy up there, you'd be bashing the shit out of him, but you can't. Shh, he's black. Oh, here he comes. Shh. Okay, cool. They're black, okay? Because slavery, I know they weren't the only group that dealt with slavery, but it's just different. It's black people, so shh, quiet. Very delicate. Don't treat them like everybody else. They can't handle it because of something that none of them alive today experienced. So his stupid ass gets up there and starts talking about how he grew up in Mississippi. Well, did the events of January 6th take place in Mississippi? No, they didn't. So why are you telling us about Mississippi? He was born there, and he regularly saw people defending slavery and all this shit. And January 6th reminded him, he's comparing the events of January 6th to the lynching of black people. That's right. There are people who work for Cirque du Soleil, you know, those group of contortionists and acrobats and shit, they can twist their body up. A woman can fit inside of a cigarette pack, all that shit. They are looking at these moves of contortionism and they are blushing because even they couldn't twist their shit into how they did to connect January 6th and the lynching of Black people. Okay, if the lynching of Black people was a horse, it's dead. Stop beating it. It's decayed and rotted. It's only a skeleton. Stop beating that dead horse. The lynching of Black folks was horrific. But guess what? This is the other side. This is the side of equality that nobody ever looks at. There were more white folks who were lynched. And if you want to connect, you guys like to connect shit. You like to connect racism to January 6th. Let's connect new times, current times with past times. Okay? You want to talk about lynching of Black people? About 4,000 Black folks were lynched from the 1700s to 1968. The last one was in 1981. 4,000, okay? 8,000 Black people are killed every year via homicide, mostly by handguns, every year. So in 1 year, you've doubled this total you keep beating the shit out of. Okay? That's just Black folks killed by other Black folks. I'm not going to talk about the hundreds of thousands that die via abortion. We'll leave that for another discussion. But again, the lynching of Black, Jim Crow, slavery, the past. Why are all their topics in black and white? Why are all of their topics old as fuck? But here he gets right off the bat, kicking off the proceedings, kicking off the festivities with some bullshit about Mississippi and the lynching of Black folks. So they say that Trump told these people, he was telling them after the election was stolen, that was a dog whistle to these groups, to these white supremacists to go and storm the Capitol. Watch 2,000 Mules and you will agree with what Trump said. We already know that shit because we have functioning eyeballs and a working brain. We know that shit was fake. We know that shit was fraudulent. We know damn good and well Joe Biden, that butterscotch pudding eating son of a bitch, did not get 81 million. He got more votes than Obama. You know, all the American housewives that were flicking that bean to Obama, and Biden got more than him. Stop. Okay? Trump told them to do this. Trump told him. He organized the troops. He plugged in the battery in their back. He wound them up and pointed them at the Capitol. Trump did it. I didn't know Trump was a sorcerer and he could control people's minds. I didn't know that. Because you can't have it both ways. We all know the saying, you can't have your cake and fuck it too. Think so. Pretty sure that's how it goes. Okay? So you can't be a country of individuals. You can't tell me shit. I got freedom. America, come and take it. Freedom, freedom, freedom. And then tell me that all of these people were under the control of one man, because that alleviates them of responsibility and puts it on Trump. Bullshit. I don't like blaming other people's actions on other people, on people that aren't them. You can't blame Trump for this shit. I don't care if Trump went out there every single day and said, meet up at the Capitol on January 6th and tear shit up. That does not mean that you're going to go out and do it. So everybody who stormed that Capitol and broke in there and fucked everything up, that's their fault. And way to go, even though it's some bullshit, they're not going to let go of this, and you gave them something to bitch about. You gave them fodder for doing that bullshit. But I'm sick and tired of people blaming that shit on Trump or the Republicans. Take responsibility for your own actions. If somebody tells you, if Trump got up there and said, all you straight men, go out there and toss another man's salad. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Don't do it on a full stomach. You going to go out there and grab your jelly or your syrup and go start tossing salads? No, you're not. Unless you're inclined to do that already. But you ain't going to talk no sane person into doing shit. Stop blaming Trump. Those people did that. And another thing, insurrection, and they were going to overturn the election. I'm going to get to that in a second. But let's talk about security. Because Pence told Pelosi, we need more security. Get the National Guard up in here. There's going to be there were tens of thousands of people. I don't know the exact numbers, but there had to be like 100,000 people out there. It was just, when there were thousands of people inside the Capitol, there were still tens of thousands of people outside. It was a huge crowd of people, most of whom did not take part in this bullshit. But they were told before, you need more security. There's going to be a lot of people here. And she said, no, we're not going to do it. Did she want this to happen? Could be. But they were told, number one, you need more security. They didn't do it. Then there were a mixture of things on January 6th. There was some human nature in there. There were some jackasses in there. And there was a lack of preparation by law enforcement in there. Because Capitol Police dropped the ball. They had officers out there in riot gear with no shields. Hold up. You showed up to the barbecue with all the ingredients and no charcoal. How are you going to have them officers out there in riot gear, no shields? So there were a mixture of things. You had those dumb jackasses out there. There were some groups, the Proud Boys were out there. Some other groups of people were out there. I can't remember the name of it. But they were out there in this paramilitary. Man, what are you guys fucking cosplaying? What you got flak jackets on looking like a bootleg Navy SEAL team? And you know what makes me call them a bunch of cosplaying jackasses is because after they got in there, there's footage of them going, yeah, we took the Capitol, man. Fuck yeah. You think real operators act like that when they've completed a mission? There are a bunch of fake dumbasses out there who wanted a reason to go out there and cosplay and use all the tactical gear they've been ordering off of Amazon. Nobody should have been storming the fucking Capitol. That's not how you get shit done. Things would have to be real, real bad, and I'm not saying they're not headed there, but shit would have to be catastrophic for us to be justified in storming the Capitol. Where was the security? You guys put security around the Capitol after that. Got the damn National Guard around the Capitol building then. Why didn't you do it before? And that's another thing. This isn't a small point. There's footage of Capitol Police moving the barricades and waving people in. Now, that doesn't excuse the people who went through the barricades and through the police on the other side, but there's footage of Capitol Police moving the barricades and waving people in. Now, if you come in my house without my permission, that's breaking and entering. But if I open my front door and wave you in, is that breaking and entering? Or is that an invite? And no police were killed. That's another one. I was going back and forth with my brother about this shit. None of the Capitol Police were killed. There was one that died of a stroke, I believe, the next day or maybe a couple of days after. And then there were 4 more officers who committed suicide. Now, can you blame that on the people who rushed the Capitol on January 6th? Well, I don't know. Being a police officer is a very high-stress job. The police knew that. Now, did they go to work that day expecting that shit to happen? Probably not. But they died of suicide. I don't think the events of January 6th were so devastating that made them go home and kill themselves. That may or may not have been the straw that broke the camel's back. Or maybe we're getting this some Epstein type shit. I don't know. But no Capitol Police were killed that day. There was only one person killed that day. Ashley Babbitt, an Air Force veteran. Now, she was inside the Capitol. She was wrong for that because nobody should have went inside there. If we're going to talk about it, let's talk about everything. She was wrong for being in there, but she shouldn't have been murdered. You can see the footage. They're inside the Capitol. Somebody breaks there's doors with little windows. Somebody breaks the glass. She climbs through, probably because she was the smallest one there. She's about 5 foot, 5'2" at the most. She climbs up there, not even all the way through. She puts the top half of her body through that window. And you can see, they say he's got a gun. He's got a gun. You can see the guy, the officer with his service pistol out like this. He's got a gun. He's got a gun. She climbs through. You see his finger is off the trigger. Once she starts to climb through, you see his finger go on the trigger. You don't hear any verbal commands from him. You didn't hear any. And then, boom, shoots her one time. And she falls back, dead on the floor. Now, that cop was a fucking coward. That woman was 5 foot nothing, and she was climbing through the window. Maybe holster your pistol, and if she wants to get down, get down. Take her down. Punch her in the face. I don't know, but that woman should not have been killed. Which brings up another question. 1 second. Before I get into that, don't forget, viewer-supported platform. Venmo, GreenforGreen, Cash.app, $ Jericho Green, the number 1, 20% off all green gear, promo code FATHER, all caps. So now, based on what they told us, based on what they're saying at this scam, this sham of a hearing, they're telling us that they did this under the orders of Trump and the Republican Party. So you're telling me this, you're telling me that this was planned by the most powerful man in the world and his party. Where were the guns? Where were the guns on the rioters? Where were the guns on the insurrectionists? They're out there, had all their other gear, flak jacket, helmets, walkie-talkies. They looked the part. They looked like they were ready to do a quick rappel out of a Black Hawk. So where were their guns? They had baseball bats, they had sticks, pepper spray. Sounds to me like they were trying to have everything they could legally have except guns. So why this intent to stay away from firearms, if you know what I mean? They had everything else. Why not bring guns? You were going in there. They tell us they were going in there for a coup. A coup is when you take over the government and you displace the other guy. You're taking over by force. This was planned literally from the top. No guns. And the only person killed was one of the rioters. How the fuck is that? You came there to overthrow the government. You came there to execute a coup. You came there to stop this election from going forward, to stop the certification of the election. Why no guns? And let's say they succeeded. Let's say they got in there, they did stop the certification of the election, but they just did it later. But if Trump's boys got in there and carried out their mission and executed their mission, then what? Does Trump think America would just say, oh, well, he didn't want to leave. Next order of business. You think those viper-like sons of bitches on the left would have just let that go? Oh, well, we'll try again another 4 years. See if he wants to leave then. What was he supposed to do if this actually happened? Then what? We're just going to accept it? You think all the Trump supporters would accept that? Oh, well. It's just so stupid. It makes no fucking sense. Play it out. Then what? He just stays in there forever until he dies? That shit is so stupid. Lying. 5 Capitol police officers were killed. No, they weren't. Their own medical examiners say they weren't. They said that one guy died of a stroke. They're people. He was bashed in the head with a fire extinguisher is what they tell us. Well, as a medical examiner, I'm no Michael Baden, but as a medical examiner, wouldn't you happen to know, maybe these fractures in his skull and these lacerations might have had something to do with his death? You think so? Blunt force trauma, he might have put that in his report. Anyway, again, how was this planned by the administration and the Republican Party? And none of this leaked out before. Nobody caught a screenshot. Nobody was pillow talking about this plan to overthrow the government. Anyway, and they don't mention the race of the cop who killed Ashley Babbitt. Flip it. Ashley Babbitt is now black. That cop is white, and he shoots her for climbing through the window. Yeah, you know where that shit would go. You know, they tried out the SEAL Team 6 of race baiters and race pimps. Sharp Tongue, Jackson. What's that lawyer that's always lurking around these unarmed black folks who were killed by the cops' families? All those bastards would be coming out. The 4 whores of the apocalypse would be everywhere. Oh, and another thing. So you kept hearing them say how closest Trump's daughter, his own daughter, and all these people closest to him told him, hey, you lost the election, it's over. Why didn't Trump believe him? Why didn't he listen? His own daughter and his own daughter. When you know something is right, it don't matter who the fuck tells you you're wrong. He was supposed to cave to that, and I don't care who those people are. That doesn't mean he's supposed to listen to him if he knows shit is wrong. If he knows that shit was stolen, why would he listen to them? That is, for some reason, that just really pisses me off. Why didn't he listen to him? If someone's telling you 2 + 2 is 6, because your daughter tells you that, you're like, all right, honey, I guess it's 6 now. No. You're going to stay steadfast in your belief and know that she is wrong. Love her. Still do anything for her. But you're wrong, sweetheart. All these cabinet members, cool. I'm not going to fire you, but you're wrong as 2 left shoes. Bar, I don't give a fuck who it is. Like that's supposed to mean something. He didn't listen to his staff, his daughter. Don't give a fuck. New mouth. So, people, most snacks use nasty, artificial ingredients that can cause weight gain and are bad for your body. That's why I love Toodaloo Trail Mix. Each of Toodaloo's 4 delicious flavors contain 30 organic superfoods and adaptogenic herbs to support better skin, more focus, improved energy, and less stress. Toodaloo is a super snack that gives you superpowers. Plus, the flavors are award-winning. Choose from barbecue, hot and spicy, chocolate, or maple brittle. And for the next 24 hours, you can try Toodaloo, America's most delicious trail mix, at up to 20% off by visiting the link below. One last thing, or probably won't be the last thing. I'm going to get in the comment section. I'm sure people have other things to say about it. But one thing, and this is probably, I wouldn't say the most important thing, but this lets you know, number one, how truthful this is. This lets you know, despite all this shit, there were people, and I believe Kamala Harris also said this shit. Don't quote me on that, but there were definitely people, talking heads, in the mainstream mediocres, who were saying that January 6th was worse than 9/11. Okay? Now, if you were the president of a country that is suffering through the ramifications of January 6th, the worst thing to ever happen to the country that you now preside over. You're presiding over a country that's going through the worst thing to ever happen to it. White supremacy. This was white supremacy. That's what Biden is pervertus, our grandpa in chief, Mr. Hey, this isn't the mall. We didn't start the fire. Him. It was the worst thing that ever happened to your country. And guess what? The opening night, everybody catches opening night. Even if you don't watch all the Olympics, you're going to catch the opening ceremonies, see who's going to light the torch, watch your country's athletes come walking in. The first night, opening night of the January 6th committee hearings, and Biden didn't even watch. How do you know, Jericho? Because he said on tape, I didn't catch it, I didn't watch it, but I know there was some important things going on. Huh? You couldn't turn off the In the Heat of the Night marathon to catch opening night of the January 6th committee hearings, the single worst act to ever be visited upon the country that you preside over. You didn't watch it? Maybe it came on after 7 o'clock. You know, old Joe can't. This is Joe. Let me do my impersonation of Bidenus Pervertus, the resident at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue at 5 minutes after 7 in the evening. That's him. So maybe it came on after 7 p.m. and he just couldn't keep his eyes open. I doubt it. Because if you go by what Wyclef's cousin said, if you don't know who Wyclef is, he was a famous Haitian rapper in the trio, the Fugees, and he had some hits after that. But he's from Haiti, and he's probably the most famous Haitian. So that's why I call the White House secretary Wyclef's cousin. She said, and she's young. I don't even know if she's 30, maybe young. She said, and I quote, I can barely keep up with him, end quote. So you mean to tell me a young woman in shape? You know she's in good health. All the fish she eats. You know she's in good shape from eating all that clam, right? Eating all that pink taco. So she's young, in shape, and she says, I can barely keep up with him. But you didn't catch the opening night, the opening proceedings of the hearing that is about the worst thing that happened to your country? Huh. How important is it? How much truth is in there? If this dummy didn't even stay up to watch it. And let me say again, everybody who went in that Capitol building, you committed a fucking crime. You need to be arrested. But that's where it needs to stop. This is no indictment on our country, or this is, what did Biden say? No one is going to hold a dagger through the throat of our democracy. Now you guys give a shit about democracy? Now you guys give a shit about the integrity of our elections? And after watching that footage again, those people were fucking jackasses. Go storm the Capitol. What are you doing? And if the police would have shot a bunch of you motherfuckers, you'd be trying to get them arrested and sue the government. Why were you going in there? That's where you lose my support. You can go up to the barriers and talk all the shit you want to the police. Call them traitors. Why are you following these orders? You fucking commies. Whatever you want to do. But as soon as you breach those barricades, you are a criminal. And all of them saying, this is our building. Yeah, it is our building. That was funded by taxpayer dollars. Yes. And during regular business hours, you should be able to go up in there and air any grievances you want until the business closes. Then you leave. You come back the next day, let them have it again. Set up some meetings with your representatives. Do it the way you're supposed to. But going into the Capitol, acting stupid, taking pictures and shit, breaking stuff, you're an asshole. You're an Antifa of a different color. You're the same thing they were in our cities. You just went to the Capitol and did that shit. You made us look stupid and out of control. You can watch footage of January 6th, turn the sound down, and put on some monkey sounds. Because that's what they were, a bunch of fucking wild animals in there. You made us look stupid. But the election was fucked with. That doesn't justify their behavior. But there's a reason they were there. But that shit was dumb. They should have never went up in there acting like that. And they did hurt some Capitol Police. They weren't injured. You can see them getting pushed over, hitting them with sticks and shit, fighting them. All that shit was wrong. All of it. But that's not an indictment on the rest of the country. That's not an indictment on Trump supporters. Like I said before, there were far more peaceful Trump supporters there than those wild jackasses, those hyenas, and those monkeys. And I'm talking about the people, even after all the shit, the people that went through, fought the cops, maybe they just went in there for a leisurely stroll through the Capitol. You're an asshole too. Stay off of that property. You know you weren't supposed to be there. But to say this is worthy of a committee and trials is bullshit. And they're putting it on during prime time. This shit should be covered just like every other hearing or whatever committee or proceedings in the Capitol building, the floor, the House and the Senate and all that should be on C-SPAN. Prime time, you got this shit edited and cut and fucking clips and stuff and lighting. Like this is a production. You're not trying to get to any truth. We already know the truth. Trump did not send those people in there. He even said, go there peacefully and air your grievances. Oh, Trump didn't say anything soon enough. He sent out a tweet. I don't give a fuck. That does not mean you can go up in there and act like that. Even if he did tell people to do that. Why are you giving this man so much power? Why are you trying to make him into King Trump? He was elected to be there. He's not there because of his lineage. This ain't the UK. We don't have a royal family. We have some royal pains in our ass. We have no royal family that's going to take over all their inbred kids and shit. Those people were individuals who made bad decisions individually. And they should individually be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. All you fake cosplaying warriors in there with your gear, riling people up on your bullhorns, you guys are assholes. Due process. Those people should not be sitting in jail for 18 months waiting to see what happens. Speed it up. If they did something wrong, punish them. Let them go. But our government also did something wrong. They have yet to be punished. So, comment section, shall we? Let's see. I see the super chats rolling in. Don't worry, I'm going to get to you. Oh, I'll get to you. You'll get the shit. Oh, you'll get the shit. What movie is that from? Let's see. John O. I thought I was going to say John Q. Very good movie. John O. Hillary, Sussman, Elise, and their accomplices that lied about Russia collusion should be tossed feet first in wood chippers of freedom and justice that waters the tree of liberty. Let's go Biden. F. J. Biden. Yeah, man. That's another thing that was just a colossal waste of time, resources, and taxpayer dollars. Because they were screaming that shit from the mountaintops, all of them. Government, entertainment, what's the dude's name? The dude on MSNBC, Ricky Maddow, Donna Lamone, that greasy lip bitch, Cuomo, RP to his career, got all handsy like his brother. All talking that shit. Russia influenced our election. Russia? The same Russia who can't fuel their machines of war. I'm tired of hearing about Russia. Take away their nukes. Nobody would give a shit about them. But that's right. They lied. They sure the fuck did. Again, waiting for them to be punished. Let's see. Jeff Kahn, 123 says, and how on earth is there 30,000 hours of footage, but they have used maybe 10 minutes total, all cropped into oblivion and used out of context? Exactly. Release the footage. That's they don't want to do that Okay, they don't want to leave it to us because then we will know, like we already do, that they're full of shit and corrupt. They can't let us see that because it's going to be plain as day as to what happened there, as to that shit not being as bad as they made it out to be. Insurrection, threat to our democracy, insurrection. I want to see one of you clowns spell insurrection. And don't worry, take your time. I know it's going to take a while for you to stand up after your 8 minutes and 46 seconds of being on one knee to honor the patron saint of fentanyl with your fake ass kente cloth scarves. I wonder how long it took for Nancy Pelosi's old ass to get up off of one knee. There's cracking, popping, dust coming out. Fucking horrible. A. Hogan, 230. I heard they were going to rename monkeypox because it was too offensive for Africa, which is probably BS, but that's one of the stories I heard. I heard the same thing. Oh, hold on one second. All right. Sorry, guys. I got a strict rule. You got more legs than me and you're in the room, you're going to die. Okay. Yeah, I heard that too. I put that shit up on my my Instagram page at JG Talk. So apparently the World Health Organization has decided that monkeypox is too offensive. They said it's too racist and offensive. So you know what that means. It offends some black folks. And since it's Pride Month, you better be proud too. Since it's Pride Month, we can't have that stuff. We can't be talking about the monkeypox because the number one group spreading it is the Pride Month. Yes. So of course they had to change that shit. So there goes, there goes. You hear that? You hear that, guys? If you put your ear up to a rainbow flag, you can hear another knee bending to the Ku Klux Trans. Disgusting. Kamen, rider number 8, he said, remember what the Ugandan nightmare said about the people, us who supported Trump. That's right. We were, Hillary, that was just the tip of the iceberg. Deplorables, we're racist. If you're white and you support Trump, racist. If you're anything darker than a white person and you support Trump, you're in some kind of dysphoria and you should be in that movie, Get Out, right? You're in the empty space or dark space, whatever they call that shit. Yeah, they talked all that shit, but none of them will be called to the carpet for that, so to speak. None of them will have to answer for the things that they said because those entities and groups or companies, or whatever you want to call them, who would call them to task for that are in their back pocket. They probably hang out on the weekends and do a lot of weird shit that includes goat blood. So they won't ever do that shit. We will have to. And we'll have to do that via the vote. Layla says Liz will be voted out in November. I hope so, because the only thing worse than a lefty is a rhino. You're a Republican in leftist clothing. You're a piece of shit. The Lindsey Grahams of the world and all that bullshit. We think you're on our side because we share the same letter, but you can't trust that shit. It's like family. Just because you share blood with somebody, that doesn't mean they're going to treat you right, treat you with respect, or not fuck you over. Usually it's family who does it worse because those are the only ones who can get close enough to do it. Believe that. So them R's and D's and all that don't mean nothing. Nothing. Creole Queen, LA. I'm assuming that stands for Louisiana. All psych ops tell live vision. That's right. The revolution will be televised. It is bullshit. Only for those who are dumb enough to believe it. And we have to hope that we don't fall into that. But there's a lot of dummies out there. A lot. You ever see the footage from a women's march? Look up Women's March LA. With hundreds of thousands of dummies right there. Let's see. Jonathan 78. He says, what about the Antifa there? I saw pics of one storming the Capitol and the same people at the BLM riots. That's another angle to it. All of the people who were doing that weren't Trump supporters. I mean, it's easy to look like a Trump supporter in the eyes of like the mainstream mediocres. You know, you got your flag, Trump this, maybe some tactical gear or some shit. So it's easy to put on the uniform, just like it would be easy to look like Antifa. Just waste away till you look like a POW and dress in all black. It's very easy. But yeah, I believe there was some of that too. If it was planned by anybody, it was planned by them. Again, Trump told the people, go home. Go there peacefully. And he said, go home. Don't start no shit. Be peaceful. That's how you get things done. And a lot of the things, like I can't remember who said that before, but it was taken out of context. They're just saying, they'll show footage of Trump saying, you're not going to win with weakness. We must be strong. We must fight. He wasn't saying, go to the Capitol building and kidnap the elected officials. He was not saying go in there and riot. They were metaphors. Don't act stupid. I hate when they do this willful ignorance bullshit. You know exactly what he was saying. You know exactly what the fuck he meant. But you can't push your narrative and deal in the truth. Oil and water. They won't mix. You know exactly what that man was saying. Just like the whole grab a woman by the pussy. Come on. Acting stupid. Acting fucking stupid. Oh, yeah. Battle Elf. Very good point. Says release Ghislaine Maxwell's client list. You know who that is? That was Epstein's right-hand woman. She was right there with him, booking the girls, getting them groomed, making sure they were nice and underage. For all of those people, you think Epstein was doing this for himself? You think Epstein would just had, I don't know, dozens, hundreds of girls coming there to this island of his? If it was all for him, then why is he involving other people? Why do we even know about it? Because he's connected to people who are of influence, who are of note, fame, politically, Hollywood, whatever. Let's see it. Give us the information. Allow us to make our own decision. Let's see everything. Why aren't those things open? Let Epstein have been some right-leaning Republican donating dude. Man, we would know everybody's name on that damn list. We know the names of the staff, who was there serving food, everything, the groundskeepers. We know everybody's name, at least the client list. But you know, they're all working together. They're all in cahoots with each other. All levels. It's the only way you can pull some shit off like that. Randall Hill. It's all rigged. Quote Donald Trump. That's right. Let's see. Rock Prep 11 says, no, I can't agree, sir. Well, not agree on what? Let me hear it. Not agree on what? Luella Malone. Jericho, you are so truthful. Thank you very much. I find that the truth served me well. Hold on, I'm trying to find one there and it just jumped on me. Hold on. Okay, I don't know what that means, so I'm not going to read it. Emma Rock Maxwell said all the guests were only kidding. I was just kidding. Got you, 14-year-old girl. Just kidding. Come on out, Ashton Kutcher. You're all being punked. Spun 65 outages here. Have to keep rebooting. Where are you at? The ones fighting hard against it are the guilty ones. That's right. Goes to Josie Wells. I was looking at Clint Eastwood movies yesterday. I'm on rent Pale Rider tonight. You guys want to see a good Western? Pale Rider. You want to see some good revenge? You gonna come over here and fuck with these good people? That's another thing. So Pale Rider, Clint Eastwood movie, my favorite Clint Eastwood movie. He's a preacher. Now he's a preacher, but he used to be a gunslinger. But he makes his way into this mining town in California. And there's this bad guy, this thug named LaHood. And he's coming there to basically take over these people's prospects and mine the gold. And he's blasting upstream to dam the river so they can't pan for gold and shit. And spun bearing 65, Kentucky. Okay. You guys got storms and shit during the summer? I remember being down in Florida. I know you're not close to Florida, but you know, the humidity. And they'd have rainstorms every night, like at 4:30. Hold on. All right, motherfucker didn't want to die. So yeah, but I mean, just meaning the humidity. You guys have like rainstorms and shit there during the summer. But anyway, Clint Eastwood, right? And this, I'm going to segue into another point. Something I didn't list here just came to mind. But it's about revenge. You know, these people are being wronged, and he swoops in to exact revenge on their part because they're just gold miners, you know, family people and farmers. And they're not about that gunplay. But Clint Eastwood is. But it made me think about something that I saw over the weekend. So Bill Maher was talking about how Hollywood needs to take responsibility for the glamorization of gun violence. And I'm only saying gun violence because that's their buzzword. But I don't believe in gun. There's violence with the gun, but saying gun violence implies that it's the gun. Without the gun, there would be no violence, and that's bullshit. So he was talking about how Hollywood needs to take responsibility for all these images you're putting out, and the average American boy will see 200,000 violent images before the age of 18 or some shit. Well, again, and he's showing all these clips, and a larger majority of the clips he's showing, like, these are movies with vengeance in the title. This vengeance, love vengeance, my vengeance, your vengeance, vengeance for, and all this shit. 99% of the movies he showed were old as fuck, like from the 60s and 70s. You know, kids watching that movie. There might be some that are the exception to the rule, but you ain't watching them old ass movies as a kid. First of all, those are old movies. You're kind of reaching on making your point. And it shows all these shooting scenes and John Wick and boom, 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 and all this stuff. And like it has an effect on young men. I don't think so, because I lived, as you know, watching my channel, especially my lives, a couple of them, we talked about it. See, people are making flagrant inflammatory statements like Matt Manning, Tombstone, the best Western movie ever. We'll get to that, sir. We're going to have a bone of contention with that. But they're saying how Hollywood, these images, and as you know, if you've listened to me for a while, I grew up in the 80s. There was no more violent decade for movies than the 1980s. You took my daughter, now I'm going to kill 400 of you. You killed my wife, now I'm going to burn down your entire organization. Anybody ever watch RoboCop? That movie was almost rated NC-17 for violence in 1987. You know your movie's violent if 1987 says, hey, that's almost too much. You're doing something. Okay? That's like a crackhead coming up to you and saying, man, you smoke too much crack. That's saying something. The 80s was a violent decade for movies. Predator, Commando, any of the Rambos, just pick one. Steven Seagal, Chuck Norris, Van Damme. Are you kidding me? You ever seen an 80s action movie? Explosions, guns, violence with all kinds of shit, blood, guts, all that shit. Now, maybe something's missing because people are people. Across time, people are people. Something else has changed. Something else has changed between the 80s and now, because there weren't all of these mass shootings that we see now. But what's a mass shooting? 4 more victims, 6 or more. There's no real definition of it. Something's changed. But for him to blame it on Hollywood, and then you got this collection of the softest pussies I've ever seen. Judd Apatow, that punk ass Mark Ruffalo, a couple other clowns I never heard of. Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer is so ugly on the inside, it's affecting her outside. I can't stand weakness. Okay? And then you don't gotta be no lumberjack, Harley riding, gun toting, tattooed, 5 o'clock shadow, cobra looking dude to be a man. Men come in many shapes and forms and sizes and colors. But you can't be no weak puss like these dudes. Talking about, oh, Hollywood, we need to sign a petition to stop with the gun violence in the movie. Shut up. By the looks of it, ain't nobody watching your sorry ass movies anyway. Gun violence. Ugh. Shit makes me sick. But anyway, back to you, Mr. Matt Manning. Tombstone is not the best Western movie ever. I understand. I was there in 93 when it came out. Kurt Russell, that handlebar mustache. Sam Elliott, come on. Val Kilmer? I'll be your Huckleberry. The little tin little shot glasses he was twirling around, making fun of those dudes. Come on, Johnny Ringo. All that shit. Yes, I get it. Bill Paxton? R.I.P. Bill Paxton? Yeah, man. But the greatest Western ever? I don't know about that, bro. That title has to go to... I said before, I'm not a big John Wayne fan, but that would have to be between John Wayne and... Oh, no, fuck it. Why am I bullshitting? Clint Eastwood, all day. All day. Clint Eastwood is the greatest, made the greatest Western. Josie Wales, Fistful of... Let's see. Bucolic Buffalo. Hope I said that right. I've never seen that word before in my life. He's a ghost in Pale Rider. Really? All right, I'm going to do some deep diving. I didn't know that he was a ghost. I watched that shit all the time when I was a kid. Don Zuckschwert. I think I got it right. Does California have a bug problem? I don't know if the state does, but I do because I got these empty fields behind my house. So we got these like big red cockroaches, not like the filthy cockroaches, but like these big red ones. And then there's these crazy ass, I think they're caterpillars. They got long bodies and like 50 legs coming off their long skinny legs, but they're not like round and furry like a caterpillar. Like regular caterpillar looks like a furry tube of sausage. These aren't like that, but they're weird looking fucking things. If you're in the Sacramento area and you see them crazy alien looking caterpillars, let me know what the hell that thing is. Yeah, Swamp Fox 1732, Outlaw Josie Wells. Yeah, man, go ahead and throw those in there. We can even go a little old school or a little new school. Open Range. It was a little slow for me in the beginning, but come on, are you the one who killed our friend? Yeah, and I enjoyed it too. Boom! New school, we can throw a little Appaloosa in there. Ed Harris and Viggo Mortensen. Come on. BB, did Jericho get new teeth? No, I did not have new teeth put inside my skull. These are my same teeth, but I got Invisalign, and it straightened it out. Yes. Like I never have, my teeth were never, I was born without a tooth here, so it allowed my teeth to move apart, and I had a gap in my teeth. But there was nothing wrong with them. I just didn't have all of them. But no, they're not new teeth. They're my same ones. Lethal Weapon, the best. Okay, not Westerns anymore, but I'll give you the first one. As a kid, that opening scene where that girl jumps out of the window with her titties out and she does cocaine, it took some of my innocence. Peter Bill's Unforgiven. Yeah, that's definitely better than Tombstone. That's another one to see. Clint Eastwood. Unforgiven. I remember watching that movie with my parents and remember the opening scene, that prostitute getting it. That was a little awkward. A little awkward for a kid in front of his parents, but I made it through. Yeah, Unforgiven was the shit. Come on, Morgan Freeman. Oh, all right. So yeah, that Michigan Police Department, that's a little short on fuel. We'll get to that in just a second. But now, most snacks use nasty artificial ingredients that can cause weight gain and are bad for your body. That's why I love Toodaloo Trail Mix. Each of Toodaloo's 4 delicious flavors contain over 30 organic superfoods and adaptogenic herbs to support better skin, more focus, improved energy, and less stress. Toodaloo is a super snack that gives you superpowers. Plus, the flavors are award-winning. Choose from barbecue, hot and spicy, chocolate, or maple brittle. And for the next 24 hours, you can try Toodaloo, America's most delicious trail mix, at up to 20% off by visiting the custom link in the description box. Clickety clack. And this is a viewer-supported platform. Venmo, GreenforGreen, Cash.app, $, Jericho Green, number one. 20% off all green gear, promo code FATHER, all caps, super chats. Keep them coming. Gonna read them. So there's a police department in Michigan where they've already burned through their fuel budget for the year because gas prices are so damn high. They're higher than giraffe pussy, okay? I was driving with my family back from the Central Coast this weekend, had a half a tank. I stopped, let me top it off, finished driving home. That was a mistake. I stopped at the pump. I put 91 octane in my truck because, you know, it's cleaner fuel. Don't get the pings in the engine. I'm listening to my mechanic friend. Shout out to my boy Leo. He can fix anything. I don't care if it's a motor on a combine, your car, or a remote control car. He can fix it. But the gas prices are high as hell. I paid $7.29 a gallon. So it's going. Okay, it's going to go higher. We're just in the beginning of summer. But there's a Michigan police department where they've already burned through their budget, so they're going to have to prioritize the calls that they answer. So the more serious your call, the better chance they're going to come and help you. And it's not the police. They don't have the fuel to get there. Now you might say, Jericho, why don't they get horses? Well, you know what's going to happen if you start seeing horses riding around. Slavery. Remember a couple of years ago that was it either a Texas sheriff or something like that? They arrested some black dude. They were on horseback and arrested this black dude. And so they had him tied up, you know, behind his back with rope, some cowboy shit, and walked him back to the precinct. Oh, remember that? Remember that firestorm? Oh, racism. How about racism, slavery? How about shut your mouth about that bullshit? He shouldn't have committed a crime in front of a cop on a horse. If he was smart and he didn't want to worry about racism, commit a crime in front of a cop in a car. Very easy. But if you fuck up in front of the cop on horseback, that's who you're getting arrested by, is the cop that you messed up in front of. Sorry, they didn't say, oh, hold on, guys. Can't do it, man. It's going to look too racist. Get me a squad car out here. Sorry, they didn't think that way. But they can't get horses out there because that's too racist. So who's going to suffer? Who's usually the race of people in the most crime-ridden parts of the city in this country? Let's be honest. So if the cops aren't showing up to them, what are they going to be called? What's going to happen? Huh? You know what's going to happen. The shit is disgusting. How about you lower some gas prices? How about, Biden, instead of taking off your derby or whatever old people wear and putting it in your hands and going over to Saudi Arabia to beg for a few drops of oil from OPEC, how about you give out some permits to land where there's actually oil so those money-grubbing oil companies can get their money, or start fracking, or put some rigs off the coast, start pumping out there. Do something you know is going to help us immediately, instead of going and begging for fuel from a country that throws gay people off of buildings during the month. How can you do that? Why are they not calling him a homophobe and an is and all this other transphobe? Because you told us earlier, Joseph, that you have trans people's back. So how do you have their back by going to a country that if they came with you, they would probably be tossed off a skyscraper? Huh? How do you justify that? Or are you bullshitting me to begin with and you don't believe the shit that comes out of your own mouth? The latter is probably true. During June, Pride Month. Pride check. You guys check your pride meters. You better be burying the needle. You better be so full of pride, you can't stand it. I want you throwing up and shitting out rainbows. Okay? Through the month of June, the only thing you're supposed to eat is Skittles. All right? You only eat rainbow things, you wear rainbow clothes, and you better watch rainbow supported stuff on your stream app that says Pride Month. Celebrate Pride Month. You better be rainbowed the fuck out this month. Rainbow tattoos. I want rainbow clothing, rainbow foods. And if you don't eat Skittles, you better dye your food rainbow. Show your pride. You hear me? Is it about pride, though? I don't know. I saw a video of Christina Aguilera on stage at a pride performance with a big green dildo. So you tell me. But here come the claims of racism. The cops just won't show up here anymore. It's because never mind. And speaking of Pride Month, again, pride check. So our border czar, what's her name? Kamala, Willie Brown's mistress. Call her what you want. We call her border czar. She didn't have time to go to the border, even though we still got that surge of 15,000 plus people coming on up to be your new neighbors. She didn't have time to go down there, but she did have time to go to a pride parade in DC. Yes, finally, doing the heavy lifting, Kamala. So she did go to a pride event in DC with her husband, who was wearing his shirt that said, "Leaders lead with love, sister." You know he got pegged that night. So she was there to show support for them, out there on the stage, hugging up, taking pictures with some dude who won a cross-dressing, can you say cross-dresser? Won some kind of trans drag queen contest with RuPaul. Girl, you got your priorities in order, but I figured it out, guys. Damn it. That public education served me one more time. See, a couple years ago, I was thinking, or about a year and a half ago, whenever she became the first black, blah, 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 right? I don't say blah, blah, blah. Who's ever seen Hotel Transylvania with their kids 50 times? But when she first got in office and they first made her the butter czar, well, I was thinking, how are we going to get Kamala down there? Because she just won't go. She had that weird ass interview with that guy talking about, well, I've been to the border. I haven't been to the border, but I've been to the border. All that bullshit. And I was thinking, well, since she has a thing for old men, because remember, she banged Willie Brown, who is like 30 years her senior. That's why I call her Kamala, the Ugandan nightmare, the politician who went horizontal so her career could go vertical. Because magically after that, she became DA of San Francisco, the very same San Francisco that Willie Brown was mayor of. Anyway, I was thinking, since she has such an affinity for the silver pubic hairs, for that silver cotton candy, why don't we do a trail? We just have a bunch of old men across the country going, ripping out plugs of their old pubic hair and like make a trail. You know, like when we used to have hogs and we'd want to get them into the trailer, we'd pour a little trail of slop in there and then all the way in there, we slam the gate on them, you dumb animal. So why don't we do that with her? Why don't we make a trail of pubes going from DC to the border, and she'll fucking cackle her way all the way down there, and boop, before she knows it, oh, guys, I'm at the border. You got me. I thought that would be the way to do it, but I was wrong again. And I'll admit when I was wrong, people. I'm man enough. I was wrong about that. What you need to do is wait till June, the month, and have a pride event at the border. Then she'll show up, guys. You got to outsmart the Kamala, okay? She's been outsmarting us. She's been pretty crafty, ducking and dodging the border, even though she's border czar. So what you got to do is get the next person to win the RuPaul, whatever, transgender fucking guy from Rocky Horror Picture Show contest. Have it down on the border. She won't have any choice. She'll have to go down there. She has to show her allegiance to this group once a year, at least. You better do it during Pride Month. So she has to go. So next June, if we can survive that long with her as vice president, next June, hold the pride event on the border, guys. Problem solved. You're welcome. You are welcome. I've solved it for you. Then we'll have the border czar down there on the border. She'll take care of the border, hopefully before the 15,000 get up here. But we know what's going to happen. They'll get here. They'll get absorbed into our population. And hopefully by then, well, there will be by then, another group, tens of thousands of people coming up to get a better life. Okay? So just know that, people. Just know when your food costs and your fuel costs, well, if fuel costs are high, everything's high because everything comes off of a truck. And those pesky trucks still run on fuel. So hopefully by next year, if we can make it, hold the pride parade down there. Boom. She'll show up. Problem solved. Okay? And if that works, I want all my adulation and praise because I came up with that idea. Now, viewer-supported platform. Venmo, Green for Green, Cash App, $ Jericho Green, the number 1. You can also do it old school, snail mail, P.O. Box 806, Olivehurst, California, 95961-9998. Super chat, keep them coming. Oh, I'm gonna read them. And Amrock says, don't forget Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Yeah, man, the body count alone from Arnold in the 80s is more than probably all the Hollywood action movies put out in the last 10 years. Shit was off the hook. Stick around, Sully. Remember when I told you I was going to kill you last? I lied. All that shit. When he, Predator, when him and Dylan were like, boom, like that, showing the muscles. Dylan, what's wrong? CIA has you pushing too many pencils. Billy. Oh, I remember Arnold. Believe that. Let's see. Creole Queen, Louisiana says, the Duke all day. I respect your opinion, okay? I understand there's Duke fans out there. You know how many times I sat there and watched the Duke marathon with my dad on TBS when they called it the Superstation? Westerns, the World War II movies, True Grit. Seen it all. Clint Eastwood all day. But I must say, not a fan of his restaurant, Hog's Breath in Carmel, California. Went there on my 40th birthday, all excited. Yeah. Not happy. Oh, yeah. Saint Mountain, I think that's what it is. Hold on, where'd it go? Don't forget Kamala smoked weed with Snoop and Tupac. Yeah, it's another thing. See, she switches. Whatever group she's in front of, that's what that's who she's going to support. That's who she's going to act like. And she was on the Breakfast Club and said that, oh, yeah, when I was in college, I would smoke weed and listen to Tupac. Shut up. That was a lie. Tupac wouldn't even make a movie then, making music then. Hold on. See, it jumped on me again. Jumping. Shantae, I believe that's how you say it, said TBS used to be lit. Yeah, the Superstation. Come on, you had Helltown. Remember that Robert Blake show, Helltown? Come on, guys. You guys aren't ready to go deep with me. I go deep in the Superstation. They used to have all the Atlanta Hawks games on, the Atlanta Hawks, the basketball team with Spud Webb was on there. Come on. That was a shit. Chuck Miller said, I love the camel toe cackle. Yeah, man, that's what she sounds like. Remember that movie, Mars Attacks in 96? They got it from her. I'm just telling you what I hear. And Faye Knox says, weed is legal up here in Canada, eh? You're going to need it, yo hoses, with Justin Castro. Weed's going to be the only thing you guys have left. He's going to take it all. Oh, yeah, Wild Bill 31. Montel Williams, too. That's right. She got a little piece of that talk show ding-dong. Oh, man, those people suck. Green Berets, I remember that shit. Oscar Gonzalez, I think Kamala has mouthpox already. Guitar Dude 777, back when men were men. That's right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's a good place to be when everybody knows their role and they play it. I'm telling you. Look at a nuclear family. Mom, dad doing their thing. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Matt Manning, Three Amigos, the best Western. Get out of here. Get out of here with that shit. Bam Bam Bigelow, the Duke had a cool strut. I'm not doubting any of that. I'm not doubting any of matter of fact, my dad, he used to work at the Carmel Tennis Ranch. He was a head chef up there, and he used to babysit John Wayne's daughter sometimes. She'd be hanging out in the kitchen with him and shit. So I got love for John Wayne, but to put him up against Clint Eastwood, nah, man. Clint Eastwood was he was like the new model of Western actor. John Wayne had his time, 50s, 60s, 70s. Well, I guess Clint Eastwood was big in those times too. But what I'm saying is Clint Eastwood was better. He was the newer, better version of Western actor. Chef Green, Butch Brady, Blazing Saddles. Man, come on. I used to watch that shit with my dad. I could quote that whole damn movie. That movie, my favorite part as a kid was when they were all sitting around the campfire eating the beans and they started farting. They're all sitting sideways, letting the farts out. And then he came up, he's like, God damn, what the fuck? I mean, I can't quote all the movie unless I want to get kicked off of YouTube. But yeah, man, that shit. The sheriff is near. What? The sheriff's near. Strike up the band. No, God damn it. Do what he say. Do what he say. Hush, Harriet. Gonna get him killed. Love that movie. And you know why that movie was so great? You know why that movie is still great? It's because they made fun of everybody. Nobody was safe. Remember that part where they were trying to get him to hide those people? And he goes, it's all right. He's like, we'll take the niggas and the chinks, but not the Irish. And then when the Chinese dude collapsed, he collapsed from a heat stroke and lack of hydration. He said, dock that chink a day's pay for napping on the job. Oh my God. Blazing Saddles. Classic. Okay, guys, I've talked about it. Let's be about it. Right after this commercial break. Most snacks use nasty artificial ingredients that can cause weight gain and are bad for your body. That's why I love Toodaloo Trail Mix. Each of Toodaloo's 4 delicious flavors contain over 30 organic superfoods and adaptogenic herbs to support better skin, more focus, improve energy, and less stress. Toodaloo is a super snack that gives you superpowers. Plus, the flavors are award-winning. Choose from barbecue, hot and spicy, chocolate, or maple brittle. And for the next 24 hours, you can try Toodaloo, America's most delicious trail mix, for up to 20% off by visiting that link in the description box. People, we've been talking about it. Let's do it. Super chats. Well, while you're thinking about super chats, don't forget Venmo, GreenforGreen, Cash.app, $, Jericho Green, the number 1. 20% off all green gear, promo code FATHER, all caps. P.O. Box 806, Olivehurst, California, 95961-9998. Get into those supers right now. Kamala, see you next Tuesday. Yeah, man. Definitely. And I don't throw that word around lightly. I do love a good cuss word, but I don't use that word lightly. I don't use it often. So when I do, I mean it. Because like my house growing up, my parents, the N-word, I know there's some black folks that throw that word around like the word the, but not my house. My parents hardly ever use that word. And when they did, they were talking about someone who was a piece of shit. So that's the way I learned it. That's why that word is so, I would say, offensive to me. I don't see how it's used as a term of endearment. That word is horrible. The origins are horrible. It was used to degrade and demean a population of people. So I don't know why the fuck somebody didn't say, well, let's either use another word or maybe create our own. But no, let's take this horrible, fucked up word. We'll start using it all the time. And that shit is dumb. Dumb. Whenever somebody tells me that shit, I'm like, you are a fucking idiot. No, it's a term of endearment. Stupid. Now, somebody never took the word rape. It's a term of endearment. What's up, my rapist? Yo, rapist, what up? Yeah, exactly, because it's a sick, fucked up word. So why would you take the N-word and try to repurpose it? Dumbass shit. All right, guys, hold on. I'm getting to the top here. I see a few of them. I want to make sure I get them all. Because I love all of you guys. Stop it. I told myself I wasn't going to cry. Okay, almost there. Oh, see, I would have missed one. See, you guys? You guys would have me miss one. Felt horrible. Horrible. Almost to the top. Let's take it to the top. And I think we are there. Cool. So, first super chatter. Chattist. First super chattist is just had it. Come on. There it is. Just a man evaluating stuff. Thank you very much. Good to see you in here. You are officially a regular. John, thank you for the 52, the 50. John Sullivan was arrested and released as an anti-Trumper. He was telling people they should set the Capitol on fire. He talked the cops away from the door Babbitt got shot in, and he was the guy telling people to break through, offering his knife. Was that the guy who was in the beige gear or the beige shirt or whatever, and he had a red hat? If that's the same guy, I know exactly who you're talking about. He was also in that video that I watched, recapping what happened that day from like all these different angles and shit. And why was he arrested and released? Why is that? Who was he partnering with? Who gave him permission to be there? Again, same person, just a man evaluating stuff. Another cinco. It says CNN and NBC each paid $75,000 for this video and then covered for him. For his video, and then covered for him, saying he was there just filming. The FBI made him give that money back. LOL. Yeah, exactly. He had to be part of the machine for him to be able to escape basically unscathed. And that's what I mean when I talk about all of this shit could only be pulled off if all facets of our society are in tune. If they're all in cahoots with each other. On their own, they ain't shit. But all of them, media, who's supposed to be our watchdog, the politicians who's supposed to have our back, Hollywood, who's just supposed to entertain us, not influence, and academia, reading, writing, arithmetic, all the shit in the books. Let the parents do the heavy lifting. So when all of them combine forces, when all of them pull a Voltron on us, then that's when you have this big, powerful monster that is hard to defeat. Not impossible, just tough. We still have a weapon. We still have the nuke. They can do all the shit they want. They can have all the Moabs that they want, but we have the real nukes. We have the vote, and we need to detonate that shit come November. Again, just a man evaluating stuff. Why are you letting him do all the super chats, people? Come on, give him some competition. Again, another 5. Thank you, sir. It says the cop that shot Babbitt was Lieutenant Mike Bird, the same guy that got it in trouble for previously for getting his gun in a bathroom. I heard about that shit. Hold up. Why you take your gun out while you're using the bathroom? What kind of shits are you taking? Or do you does it make you lean to one side? You can't piss unless you're even. So you take your gun off so you're balanced. Why in the fuck would you take your gun out in the bathroom? You're just gonna have to take a shit uncomfortably. You can't take your service pistol out and then forget it. You know what? Something that always goes through my mind every time I put my gun away and lock it up in my gun safe. I always think that what would happen if I didn't? What would happen if I were in the other room and I just hear a gunshot go off? I don't even want to finish this thought, but I have to. What if I hear a gunshot go off and I go in the next room and my son, because my daughter would never touch a gun, and my son had picked it up. I left it out. He picked it up and shot himself. Unthinkable. So what would happen if you left your gun in there, some kid or some person? What if some man comes in there, gets to shooting people? You go to respond, he tap it. Oh, shit. Fucking dummy. That guy was a coward. That woman was 5'0". There was no reason to shoot her, and she wasn't even through the window all the way. Fucking coward. And he got off. No problem. Here, give me your wrist. That's it. IWD, thank you very much for the 5. He says they probably passed due to the complications from the jab. Yeah, man. Look at, what's his name? Justin Bieber. Look at his face. He's all stroke face and shit, possibly from the poke. No, thank you. Mallory Faust, thank you, young lady. Thanks for the twomp. She says, what's up, JG? I wanted to thank you that you have been mentioning 2,000 Mules. It's disappointing how many fellow conservatives I talk to aren't aware of it, and for whatever reason, other YouTubers don't bring it up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, but you need to see that shit. Everybody within the sound of my voice or the view of my face, however you say it, whoever's watching this or listening to this shit, you need to check out 2,000 Mules. Number one, you need to know the information to know what really happened, to really know how bad we were screwed. And number two, it'll make you feel better. It'll make you feel that, oh, I'm not crazy. I'm not some tinfoil hat wearing fool. This shit really did happen. There really is hardcore evidence that it happened. Watch it. I watched it twice. It make you mad as shit. Like my dad would say, it'll make you mad as a wet hen, but you need to see it. Spunbearing 65, thank you, sir, for that twomper, that twompski. I should have a t-shirt that says twomp. I think I am. Let me write that shit down. Oh, man. Hell yeah. Twomp. Oh, it's going to happen, people. It's going to happen. Okay, Super's coming. I see 2 more just got in here. Thank you very much. I will get to you too. Just the man evaluating stuff. Damn, okay. If you watch the long videos, thank you. If you watch the long videos and turn the volume up, you can see who is organizing people and where to go and how to attack. Yet no mugshots of them. Yeah, that guy that he mentioned, Sullivan, he's telling people which direction the Capitol building is in. Well, and then there's one part where he's talking to this guy. What we need to do, is the guy's like, well, maybe we shouldn't say it. And he's like, no, I'll say it. Like after somebody tells you, maybe you shouldn't say this on camera. That's usually where you go, you know what, you're right, my bad. I'm not going to say that shit. He's like, no, I'll say it. Like, I don't got shit to worry about. I'll say it. Sure did. Spunbearing 65 again, another Twompski. Thank you. Says it shifts way of avoiding prosecution for Hunter. Yeah, Adam Shit. I'm not even gonna call him Adam Schiff. Adam Shit is a piece of shit. And Hunter Biden, that's the bombshell of the year. Instead of, if they had taken this same vigor, this same intensity, and cover that laptop, that's what you need hearings for. That's what you need a committee for. Let's have the Hunter laptop committee. Let's have the crackhead committee. Why aren't we talking about that shit? Because he's a direct descendant of the president of the United States. Get out of here with that shit. The big guy. I wonder who he was talking to. Maybe he was talking about Corn Pop. When he said the big guy, he was talking about Corn Pop, not his daddy. Maybe Corn Pop is his daddy. You never know. Whoop. Okay, here we go. All right. Back on track. Back on track, people. Going to the next super chat. Whoop. There it is. Next one. Yep, Gwen Roney. Some of the Capitol Police waved them in. That means they were invited in. That's right. You can't accuse somebody of burglary if your door's wide open and you're waving them into your house. The police are not going to take the same angle if they find out you wave them into your living room. Just doesn't have the same sting. Nickel Dime, thank you very much. Says those that think the word monkey is racist are the racists. Thank you very much. You don't see Asian people get mad when you talk about monkeys. They got monkeys over there too. But it's racist. How? I don't get it. I don't understand. Tommy from Texas, thank you very much. South Texas flipped the congressional seat to red after 150 years being blue in the special election. My great state is not going to be purple. I hope you're right, Tommy. I'm right there with you, man. We need certain states to hold their shit, to hold their ground and not be flipped. Because if they can flip those states, the Texas, the Floridas, and shit like that, it's a wrap. Spunbearing 65 again. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Will this one finally go? Jericho, they are blocking me. No, you're in. You're there. I got you, man. You're in. Why would they be blocking somebody from donating? That's fucked up. But you're there, man. You made it. You're in. You're in. Not urine, but you're in. We got more supers, people. We're going to get them. I swear. Like all for one. I swear. Oh, where my 90s kids at? Huh? That was always the last song at the dance, at the high school dance. Or was I still in junior high then? 94. That was always the last song, I swear, by All for One. Ladies, you think you got it bad? You try standing across the dance floor from a group of girls, and one of them you want to go ask to dance because she got all her girlfriends around. So you got to get up your courage. Will you dance with me? Hey, that's pressure. That dance pressure take years off a man's life. Tommy from Texas again, thank you. The young lady in South Texas is a Mexican immigrant who ran on border security while her opponent just kept saying she is friends with Trump. That shit's not going to keep working. Because pretty soon people are going to be like, okay, yeah, you called her name, should Trump support, blah, blah, blah. But what do you got? What's your substance? What are you going to do? I know you can talk shit and hurl insults, but what are you going to do? And pretty soon substance is going to overtake their bullshit feelings and emotions and their fucking rhetoric. And Mexican border security? Get out of here. They all want Mexican people to come here, right? Wrong. Patricia, thank you. My favorite movies were the ones that I could go on a date with my man and pretend to be scared. Oh, the 80s. Oh, you were I'm so scared, clutch him tighter. Okay, I see the game you're playing. I'm sure he wasn't upset about that. I've said many times, take me back to 1987 and drop me off. Leave me there. Drop me off there, close the portal. Don't come back. I'm fine. The guy ever try the arm over like that? That's classic. Ladies, you don't understand. That's why it makes me so mad when women are like, I can't find a good man. What are you talking about? Pick one. You're the desired one. You know how nervous men are around you? You're a woman. You're in a position of authority. You do the choosing. You'll never see a nightclub that says men in free before 11. Nobody wants dick. It's anywhere. It's too easy to get. Dick is like, remember those flowers, those yellow flowers that would grow and you pick them and they're sour? They're fucking everywhere. Nobody cares about those. A woman, that's something different. Hope you women realize the power that you have, how powerful you are. Don't settle for no bullshit. I can't find a good man. It's because you don't want one. I want a bad boy. I want a bad boy who's going to choke me a little bit, but he loves puppies. That guy doesn't exist, okay? So pick a good man. Stop being a dummy. God of Blackness, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. I see you on IG. I appreciate the support there as well. Thank you. LDS German Shepherd Boy, a twomp. Hey, Uncle Jericho, hope you're well. I hope you're well, too. What are your thoughts on the CCP threatening Taiwan, the Communist Chinese Party, and North Korea threatening South Korea? Should we back our allies that support our values and liberties? Well. You know what Taiwan and South Korea have in common? That during Trump's presidency, you could put them on a list of countries not to fuck with because Trump wouldn't let you. Trump was at the DMZ and facilitated peace talks, had the North and South Korean leadership shaking hands. But now, North Korea is threatening South Korea. Didn't Trump call him the Rocket Man? Wasn't that supposed to be World War III? No, that's how you deal with those leaders. They don't understand weakness. They don't understand Obama. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Hey, go ahead. Put your hands inside my pockets. I'm the leader of America. I won't do anything to stop you. I am sorry because slavery and other bullshit. Right? They weren't scared of him. They were scared of Trump. Nobody was fucking with Taiwan when Trump was in office. But they're fucking with them now. Why? Because they don't fear America anymore. America was a big, bad dog. Big teeth, sharp teeth, strong bite, not afraid to use it. But now that dog has been neutered and had its teeth removed. Now we're a toothless, sackless mutt sitting in the corner, shivering like Cringer before He-Man turned him into Battle Cat. Please, no, China. Please use some lubricant first. Ooh. That's where we're at now. South Korea and Taiwan didn't have shit to worry about. Are we going to back our allies? If they're our allies, I guess we have to. Shit, we're backing countries who aren't our allies, who aren't in NATO. But if they are our allies, we got to do something. But I don't want this jackass in there to do something. Wasn't Trump handling China financially, economically? Wasn't he enforcing tariffs and had trade deals with them? Making them pay up? Making them give us a good deal so we can get shit cheap? We had him. We fucking had him and we chased him off. Stupid ass. Now we got that full. Now we got Mr. Magoo. Battle Elf, thank you very much. How many Republican senators pushing anti-constitutional gun control laws are the Ghislaine Maxwell's are on her client list. Probably all of them. Probably all of them more than once. How can you do that shit? And nobody should be anti-constitution. That's the one thing that should be hands off. That's why it's so important to protect the Supreme Court justices. That's why that fucking psycho driving all the way from California to Maryland to kill Justice Kavanaugh is a big deal. You want to have a committee hearing? Have a hearing about that. We can't have our Supreme Court justices living in fear, ruling in fear. This is not Mexico City. This is not Sao Paulo, Brazil. We don't have federal judges murdered in the streets. We don't do that. Fucking ridiculous, man. How do we know that? Whether we be in the garage studio like myself, your car, your home, how do we know that sitting here and they don't know that shit over there in DC with all the fancy shit and the organizations and endless budgets to figure shit out? Either they can't or they won't. I think they won't. I don't think they want to. Fuckers. Hold on, let me get these supers in here. Comments keep jumping on me. Is that it? I think I got him. Oh, no, hold on. Bucalock Buffalo. I'm going to figure out how to say that one of these days. Richard Pryor was a writer for Blazing Saddles. It shows Richard Pryor is one of the greatest stand-up comedians ever. You talk about a tortured existence. But one of the greatest stand-up comedians ever. I used to steal my mom's Richard Pryor tapes and fall asleep listening to them at night. I memorized them. One of the funniest skits was the Wino. Because the Wino, see, these weren't just characters. These were characters who had a perspective on life and were watching life happen, commentating. The Wino was always there on the corner drinking. He saw everything happen. And there was one where the Wino and it's called the Wino and Dracula. He catches Dracula looking in somebody's window to bite him. Man, that's the funniest shit. Mudbone. He had all these characters, man, that were fucking hilarious. He'd do the mob boss. He tells a story about how he tried to, the mob, he worked for him at a bar and they weren't paying him. So he got this idea, I'm going to go in there and rob him. And they fucking thought he was hilarious. They didn't even take him seriously. Man, best, I'm going to say it, best stand-up comedian ever, Richard Pryor. I mean, just fucking hilarious. A good actor, too. There's a movie he did called Bustin' Loose. Of course, he had the ones he did with Gene Wilder and stuff. But Bustin' Loose, that was a good movie. Really good movie. I think I got all the super chats. I think I did. If I didn't, I apologize. I will get them mañana. But I think I got them all. Oh, hold on. One more from Battle Elf. Abolish the Uvalde police. Oh, that's a controversial statement. I'm going to do a video on that, so I don't want to burn my material, as they say. But yeah, man, that was crazy. Native Poppy, my favorite one was about Dracula. Dude, that shit, Dracula? He's like, hey, what's your name, boy? Why are you peeking inside them people's window? Dracula? What kind of name is that for a nigga? He's like, oh, it's all, what's that all dirt on the back of your neck? You want to suck what? Better suck your ass away from around here. You want to drink some blood, go to the blood bank. Hope you get sickle cell. Oh, I could go on all day, but I can't. I got stuff to do. Life of a homeowner. There's always some shit that needs to be patched, replaced, painted, something. I'm going to go do it right now. After I go on a hike, people. It's supposed to be 100 degrees today. Feels about 95 right now. I'm going to throw on my hoodie, my weighted backpack, and go shed some calories. I'm trying to make better decisions, eat better food, cut out sugar and dairy, trying to exercise every day. Bear with me. You're going to see a slimmer, trimmer, more sexy Jericho Green. I know. Could he get sexier? Yes, he will. But yeah, that's what I'm about to do. You people, have a good day. What do you mean, you people? Before I go, Venmo, GreenforGreen, Cash.app, $ Jericho Green, the number one, Father, all caps. That is the promo code to get you 20% off all green gear, including my new designs. This is viewer supported. Thank you. P.O. Box 806, Olivehurst, California, 95961-9998. People, we did it. Another live Be here tomorrow, 1 p.m. PST Pacific Standard Time. And that's it. That's all I got, people. You know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over to JerichoGreen.net. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm